Hello guys. My name is Kyohei Shimada. I work for Kyocera Document Solutions Europe. Now, let me just first kick off some of the formalities first. The introduction part. Well, I'm currently leading a team which is called the BPM department in Kyocera. We are the regional headquarters of the European region, but we are covering Europe, Middle East, and Asia. I have a team of 10. Half of them are developers, and half of them are what we call business analysts. But these are the people who are basically talking to all of our internal and external customers. Again, to continue a bit of the formality part about Kyocera Document Solutions, we are a manufacturer of printing devices, printers, multi-functional products, but also we are providing a lot of solutions, for example, enterprise content management, and etc. But I'm not here today to sell you printers, because I'm here today to, well, talk a little bit about my story. And before going into this, I just want to share with you something I encountered when I came to the US, because it's my first time in the US. And I don't know how about you people, but whenever you go to a new country, you're a little bit nervous when you go to the passport control. And you never know what this guy is going to ask you. So I approached, and this guy says, yeah, so what's the reason you're in the US? Well, I'm attending a conference. So, okay, tell me what the event is about. Okay, it's about digital transformation. Oh, so robots. No, not robots. Tell me about it. Okay, well, I'm talking about automation and digitization so that we can reduce, for example, manual work. And the next thing he says is, I'm not sure I should let you in because you are the guy who takes our jobs away. Now, I had to really think about that one, because why are we doing what we are doing? Because are we doing something because we are taking jobs away? Now, I have to admit, at that moment, I didn't have any answer to him. I just mumbled something, and I was already happy I could go through, and now I'm standing here. And I'm standing here also because 6 months ago, I had my first encounter with Gustavo, where he was at our office, and he kindly invited me to share this story. So thank you, Gustavo, for having me here. But the story is, and we have to rewind 2 years ago, is we had a change in management. And with every change of management, there's a different way of working. And one of the key words was digital transformation. I was asked at that moment to set up a team and do something with digital transformation. Well, that's great, and then you ask, okay, what do you expect me to do? It's like, yeah, no, I concentrate on processes and make them lean. And by the way, that's really all I got. So, but there was one process which was a real headache for us. Because like I said, I'm representing here the European regional headquarters. We have 18 sales companies who are representing the countries. Again, we are a manufacturer, and we are in the tendering business. Now, that means we have a special deal, and then we have to give some special prices to it. But how does this process work? The process itself is actually very easy. I mean, the sales company asks the regional headquarters for support, a financial support, and there's an internal approval flow. It's that easy. But the reality is, and usually you would expect something like lines to represent how mature you are, but this is actually the real reflection, because we didn't have any of these 5 keywords. Because the process itself was email-based, it was Excel-based. We had a legacy system, but it was more an attach and approve. So you attach something, goes to the next person, but that person still needed to open 5 different files. So we didn't have any integration. Forget about flexibility, because it's an Excel. There's only one person who knows how the Excel works, but that person also doesn't really work because he kind of got it taught 5 years ago. So scaling, also impossible, because, well, you don't want to touch that Excel, right? I mean, just imagine it's going to break up. Automation, okay, let's skip that one. And agility. Now, let's forget about the semantics here, but if we just define it as easy or quick, that you can move around, no, you cannot do that, because for exactly the same reasons. Now, the idea is very simple. We have to speed up the process to win more business because the tendering is a business for us. The faster we are, the responsive we are, we have a higher chance to win those deals. And we call it the special pricing approval on the left side. But also there are some other challenges there as well. We have to increase the visibility for our seniors. Now, visibility means not just giving them data. No, it's about giving the right data so that they can have a fast decision-making process. We don't want seniors to spend 50 minutes opening up Excels. We want to give them a 30-second, 1-minute chance to review it. So again, we have to speed it up. But it was not the first thing about processes itself, because we were using Bizagi. We were using the Bizagi, but the modular one. And we had a lot of processes documented in the company. Good news, great news. But the thing with documentation, and I think you can recognize that, is that once you have documented, it goes into a drawer. Nobody cares about it. Going back to the PC, and they're going to do whatever they have been doing for the last 5 years. So we have to give some life to this document. We have to have an operation which is built on top of that process. And very simply put, everybody has to live by these processes. So what is the approach? And I'm still talking about only that one process. First, again, we have to document the process. Now, we have done it, but okay, we are going to use the modeler for that. One of the key things here is that okay, we had to convince our key stakeholders. Now, my team currently reports directly to the president and the CEO. Now, the reason is actually very simple, is that we are not dependent on sales. We are not dependent on finance. We are not dependent on logistics. No, we are having a holistic view of the entire organization on what kind of processes we should build. Now, I'm in that lucky position, in that sense that I have a very strong power sponsor who backs up any initiatives I'm going to do. And it was very simple, okay. We have to optimize. And for that, we have chosen to do Bizagi Studio, because Bizagi Studio allowed us to give, again, life to the process we have already done in the modeler. Now, the solution itself is simpler than it is, actually, because simplicity was really a key word for us. We gave, at that moment, the vice president clear information. All he saw in the first screen when he opened up an opportunity, a tender, was an overview, total sales, the main models, GP, profits, and that's it. That are his key indicators for decision making. And it's of course not something I came up with. No, we asked him, okay, what do you look at? But we do, for example, provide a different screen for our regional sales managers, because they need to go into more detail or to look into the strategic positioning of that tender. So, and Bizagi allows us to do that. So we give a unique and specified screen for each of the users. Now, we also brought in some kind of analysis into this. Now, a very simple example here also is that just imagine a tender, and a big tender. In our industry, it can be a mix of 60, 80 models with enhancement, with consumables, and etc. But what is going to be, for example, the projection? Can we sell this first shot deal for a negative price so that we are becoming profitable in 12 months, in 24 months, 36 months? That totally depends on how much toner we sell, how much consumables we sell, how many services we sell. We make a kind of a prediction using the intelligence of Bizagi so that there also we can help the decision making. We don't want to lose important deals because they look red. We want to win those deals which just make us profitable at the end. And that is what we are helping our decision makers with. We also have a very clear indication where the system tells the user whether he should approve it or reject it. Now, it's just a recommendation. Of course, they can overrule because they are the decision makers. But purely based on data, we let some calculations run. And the last thing is that we also integrated with our ERP system, SAP. Now, the technology itself, I'm not a technical guy, so I cannot say anything to you about this part. But the more thing I want to share with you is that it was an emotional breakthrough for our organization. I mean, just imagine that there's an operations team. They're all ladies, beautiful ladies, but they're just typing in. They're just punching the numbers. They get it from email. Sometimes people are running around with a piece of paper asking the ladies to please register this ASAP because it is urgent. Now, of course, everybody knows everything is urgent. So, but then we invite the operation people and we say, no, you know, instead of doing that, all you have to do is press this button. Oh, it's done? Yeah, it's done. And the emotional breakthrough here is not so much about, let's say, convincing those people that their job has disappeared. No, it's about it can be that easy, but also, what are you now going to spend your time on? Because you have been spending for the last 3, 4, 5 years punching in those numbers, taking 50 minutes, 20 minutes to register that price, and now you don't have to do it anymore. Now think back again on my encounter at the airport. So that guy tells me that I'm taking his job away. And that's not the story I am telling in the company. I'm not telling them that I'm going to take their jobs away so that they can start updating their CVs. Because the outcomes of digitizing or having this process, that's great. I mean, our special pricing approval, it was on average, it took us 10 days to reply to a request. Now it takes us 1.5 days on average. The fastest case we got was 5 minutes. So just imagine there. The sales company, one of us, asked for a price, and 5 minutes later, it's registered in our SAP. That is how you can be more faster and answering to what the business wants to have. Now, of course, we can provide much more service, because, again, the processes are now aligned. They need to work on that process. It's not more in the drawer. Now, we can also see that the decision-making on those pricing is more agile. Again, we have to define agile, what that means, but by providing, for example, the clear numbers and only the numbers what they want to see to make decisions, that's an easy way. And also, if they come to me, they want to add one more information, I can have that on screen in 1 hour. Now, currently, we are managing a pipeline, roughly about 300 million euros. But again, the question or the comment that officer made to me haunted me. On the simple question of why are we doing what we are doing? And my answer to those people in the current company is that we are supporting them. Support, the word itself is quite holistic. But we touch on the management rationale of our company. And the management rationale of Kyocera is that we provide opportunities for the material and intellectual growth of all our employees. And through our joint efforts, contribute to the advancement of society and humankind. Now, the key word here for me is the material and intellectual growth. Because, and anybody who works in BPM recognizes this, is that, okay, what are we talking about? Are we talking about 3 hours of work reduction for that person, 1,000 euros, dollars a month? But what does that mean? What does it mean that a person doesn't spend his time anymore on a certain task? For us, it means that we can provide them the opportunity to grow. Very simple example, one of the operations people moved to the marketing department. He's now in touch with customers, talking about their partner programs and marketing programs, instead of punching in the numbers. That is how we try to add value to the persons who are working in our company. So basically, we ask, what can the employees do with the hours saved? And that's probably also the answer I should have given to the officer. Of course, I'm not so sure whether he knows Bizagi, and he doesn't even care about what Bizagi is. But the point is that you have to have the people on board on your journey. Because this story happened 1.5 years ago. Nowadays, people are coming to me, asking how they can improve their processes. And it's not about finger pointing. It's not that the sales guys come to you, yeah, you have to improve the finance process. Now there are people, operational people coming to me saying, hey Shimada, I have this process and it takes me 1 hour to do. Can you do something about this? Now, of course, then we have to go through all the discussion, etc., what we can achieve. But this is the real change, what you can bring through BPM into an organization. That people really start to think about what they are doing every day. Do we want to have people who just come at 9 a.m., do the same thing, and they close their laptops at 5, and do that for the next 3 years? Or do we want to have people who will continuously think about how they can change the way of working? Now for us, it took us 2 years, roughly 2 years, and that is today. And this is probably also the biggest message I want to share with you. Again, if I look at the presentation about other breakout session, etc., it looks like I'm looking to my big brother who better plays football. It's like the neighbor who has a better car than me, because they are much more advanced. But what I have today a Toyota Prius. It's great. It's efficient, it goes, and I don't need to have the Ferrari. And that is what we accept. We accept that our current stage is the Prius, and we love the Prius that we have. And that is also the reason why we're just going to continue what we're doing. We're going to do the small steps, no big bang. We're going to continue to scale, because the process I've shown you earlier about the special pricing, it looks so much different now than how we started off with. Of course, then these are the key words about agile, that we have to be flexible. In the meantime, we have changed our processes also in the credit handling. Also, we have now a platform where sales companies can communicate with each other. And of course, other departments are also approaching us, HR and these. But now, again, the roles has changed. I don't have to go to them to convince how great BPM is. They're coming to us to implement BPM, and Bizagi is helping with us to achieve that. And that's all for me. Thank you very much. I'm okay, right? So, or
Does anybody have any questions?
please.
Do you evaluate the option?
I think there's a mic coming. Yeah.
Do you evaluate the option as a developed project software? Instead of Bizagi, developed as a software or not?
In my team itself, you mean?
Yes.
We use Bizagi indeed for the BPM projects. We also use Board, that's our business intelligence tool. But we also have some specialists in SAP, in the ERP. So we are a mixed team. That's the technical side. My analysts are also totally having a different background. One is a sales guy, one is a process architect. Other person is like a walking Bible of ERP. She has been working for the company for 20 years. And I have another lady who is not technical, no sales experience, but is the greatest person from a social skill point of view. So, but she's my ambassador, actually. Yeah. So I have a completely mix of people in my team. Yeah.
So, Mr. Shimada, I would like to know, how did you actually dealt with the change management? I mean, of course you said you're going to reduce the tasks and everything, but how people took that change? I mean, we know that changing is not easy. The easy part is to stay in your comfort zone. So how actually Kyocera dealt with change management?
Brutal honesty here, there are two answers to this. One answer is that we always have tried to bring people in. So already before we start to build something or design something, is that, okay, they have to start seeing that what they're doing is actually totally useless. And sometimes people do not see that. So we have to show them that, well, I really love you, but what you have been doing for 5 years, questionable. And the second thing is, and this is the brutal honesty part, is that sometimes it also has to come from top down. And this has to do with not so much about asking your CEO, CFO to say something, but it's about how much they believe in the change. And sometimes people are reluctant to change. And also you have to be brutal sometimes that maybe these are not the persons you always want to have in the organization. But again, there are two ways. One is the bottom-up thing, what we try to do throughout doing the workshops together. And sometimes it is indeed needed for a strong, strong sponsorship. Because for real change, all you have to have is a CEO who says, do it. But that do it, that's probably one of the most difficult 2 words top management can say sometimes.
So, just picking up on that point.
Yes.
That point about engaging with top management, are you really talking about articulating their belief in the vision, or are you talking about them, this is how it's going to be, we're going to work like this, which one? You know?
Oh, in that sense. So whether you have to ask them how to do it, or?
Some senior managers want to, tell Sal, this is what you're going to do.
Okay.
Others are prepared to, and I think this is the point you were making.
Yeah. Well, in my.
To articulate the vision of what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And leaving the people.
In my case, it was the case that I received the 2 magic words: do it, but I don't care how. And for the very simple reason that also top management was very frank to me of saying, okay, I don't know how to do BPM. I don't know how to do the digital transformation, but that's the whole reason I have you. So I don't care how you do it, but please do it. And that's the mandate, that's actually all the mandate I need to do something. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.